What's up, Gary?
Hey, what's going on?
Caught him off guard. Welcome to GemMintC Collectibles. Got Gary, probably one of the most requested people on the show. Everyone's always saying, got to get Gary on. But guys, let us know if Gary has an echo because he hears one, but I don't hear one.
Yeah, I hear it from your side, but it could just be me.
I mean, I don't hear it. Like, we got to see if these guys can hear that. Anyway, we figured we'd do a live after New York Comic Con. Gary's first time actually having a booth out there. Figure I'd pick his brain a little bit, or we would just talk about it and see what's going on with everyone in the chat.
What's going on? I've got my chat here through StreamYard. Is that how you're doing it too?
Well, I have my chat through StreamYard. I don't know if you can see it through there. You might have to pull up YouTube.
Oh, yeah, I see it over here. Live comments. I see Jed Miner, Jesse Say What.
Yeah. We got Davy Jones binge watching a bunch of Gem Mint videos. We got Symbiote Mass up in here. Bob Blanton's here. Nestor Vasquez. So maybe we'll wait a little bit so we could let some people join in, get the notification. Yeah, I thought Gary shaved his head, man. When I first saw you pop up, I just saw your forehead. I was like, what the hell? You had no bandana.
This is my work attire.
I see they're saying they hear the echo a little bit.
That sucks. Let me see.
What up, Adam Delisso? What up, Drawing Whatever? What up, Mac Havens in the house? Unruly's in the house, throwing up that deuce.
You know what it is? The Yankee game is still on, I think.
Oh, yeah? No, that's all good.
Let me see if I could make a quick adjustment.
Eric's in the house. Amazing Asian. That boy Mike's in the house. So make a quick adjustment, and if you can see anything, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't see anything.
And I don't even hear it. That's the thing. Jesse say what says sounds fine to me. Joe Goose and else. All right, so we can get it cracking. So we got some people joining in. So, you happy that it's over or what?
All right, let me see. I made a little adjustment. That didn't help. Yeah, I'm ecstatic it's over. I'll be honest with you. That was
so first time setting up at New York Comic Con, but you've done other shows before. Like, what are some of the other shows that you've done?
Terrificon I've done East Coast Comic Con, and silly little local ones.
So Terrificon's in what, Connecticut?
Yeah, that's the Mohegan Sun one. That's fun.
That's fun. So now, how much bigger, or is it bigger, New York Comic Con compared to those?
Yeah. Well, let's see. I talked to a security guard Friday morning walking in, and the guy told me that on Thursday, which didn't sell out, they had about 100,000 people through the door.
Damn.
So, yeah, it's. I mean, I don't compared to San Diego, they're probably on par. San Diego might be a little bigger, but it was a lot. It was daunting.
I'm looking at the comments. So much bigger, right? So what about okay, I know it's big, but there's a lot of other booths besides comics. What about like the comics area? Was that much bigger as well, or was it similar?
Yeah, so like even the comics section in New York Comic Con was bigger. So like, I mean, you were there. Did you notice like all the comics were grouped in one area?
Yeah.
And like all the toys in there. So like just the comic book section of New York Comic Con is probably like half of one of these regular cons. The whole floor. That's how big it was.
Dang. So what was your what's your takeaway from New York Comic Con? Was it something that you would do again? Would you say that it was successful?
Yeah, I would say it was successful.
Well, I knew it was successful, but I'm just playing interviewer here, you know?
Yeah. No, it was definitely something it would let's see, how do I word this? It's definitely something I would do again if I was in the same spot I was this year with books, keys.
You had a lot of inventory, right?
I did. I had a good inventory. I had it all priced. I had it all bagged, boarded. I mean, you saw it. We had 11 boxes there of individually priced books A through Z, as well as 3 walls full of keys. And as the keys were selling, I kept popping more up because I had some behind.
Yeah.
I think I had 4 short boxes of slabs, and trying to fit all this in a 10 by 10 was like, I mean, you saw, man, it was tight.
Yeah, man, you had a lot of stuff. I mean, it wasn't a small booth, but like you said, I mean, you maximized the space. You had a good setup going on there. I don't know if you want to speak on it, but how much inventory did you leave with?
This was like the big surprise I teased with on Instagram. So
Yeah.
like we can talk about that later.
Let's
'Cause I
talk about it
feel-
later. So what I want to talk about, I don't want to repeat the interview I did, like during the show, but like, what do you feel like? What's the most common books that people were asking if you had?
a lot of people wanted X-Men. A lot of people were asking for kind of the common sense stuff, right? FF48, Shang-Chi, Eternals, She-Hulk,
Hmm.
a lot of X-Men stuff, especially 129, which is what is that Kitty Pryde, Madeline Pryor, or
Right.
Madeline
Yeah.
Pryor,
Oh, I
or
don't even
Kitty?
know. It
I
could
think
be.
Madeline Pryor is the Rogue book. The Avengers Annual, I think, is Madeline Pryor, but like I think 129 is like the beginning of the Dark Phoenix. Um, Kitty Pryde, Hellfire Club. I think that's that one. But like a
Yeah.
lot of people wanted X-Men 129.
Avengers 10 is the first Rogue. Avengers Annual 10.
Yeah,
And then the Hellfire stuff, like the Dark Phoenix stuff, is in the 130s. So 129.
I think it
Could
starts it.
it could be White Queen Emma Frost then.
It is. Yeah, I think it's Emma Frost too.
Yeah, man. So a lot of people were asking for that. Now, when I was at the booth, a lot of people were asking you for like modern books, but it's like you can't just tell that my man has all Bronze Age and Silver Age books. I was kind of surprised by that.
Dude, I got a lot of questions for like House of X,
Right?
all those things. And I'm like, dude, the newest book I had was probably from like 4 or 5 years ago.
If that,
But
I mean, yeah, you had some of those slabs.
oh yeah, that's true.
So dang, so yeah, that was super cool, man. Setting up with the big boys. Did you meet a lot of new dealers out there? Like, what was that like?
Honestly, where I was located, I was with a group of guys that I've dealt with before, whether on Instagram or shows or one way or another. I've worked with them. One dude who was right next to me, actually, I don't know if you follow him or know him from Instagram, was Comic Book Underground.
Yeah, sounds familiar. Do they press books too?
Yeah, like
Yeah,
this
I've heard of
guy's
him. Oh no, I
outstanding.
met him, but isn't that G Marengo's boy?
Yeah, that's who he uses.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I had, I mean, we're not going to jump too far ahead, but I had like a stack of books ready to go for him for the end of the show. I'm like, all right, if this doesn't sell, it's going. If this doesn't sell, it's going. If this doesn't sell, so like that was the plan.
So let me ask you this: as a dealer, right? I'm always interested in like that side of the hobby, right? So you're a dealer, you have inventory. As day one opens up Thursday, it was super packed Thursday. I think it seemed like the busiest Thursday. I don't want to say Thursday at New York Comic Con because I've only been there twice, but the busiest first day of any con I've ever been at.
My best 2 days were Thursday and Sunday.
It seemed like it was definitely popping on Thursday. So as people are coming, as people are buying books, people are paying cash, credit card, all those type of things. How are you feeling? Are you nervous? Are you like not knowing, or like what's that thought process?
Yeah, I was actually really nervous because I invested a lot into this particular show. I mean, it's real easy to go sell slabs on Instagram and keys and everything, but like
It's free.
like I worked on those 11 boxes and just seeing people pull books out of there, I was like, all right, cool. This was worth it. This was worth it. But like, I barely left the booth.
Right.
Like for a lot of reasons, like there were a lot of people that came through that like from Instagram, YouTube, people
Yeah.
saying hi. And like, that's what I wanted. Like, you don't have to spend money. Just come say hi. And the YouTubers came out in droves, and I was surprised because my YouTube is kind of like flat.
Hey, they're saying your audio is a little high. I don't know if you're able to even do anything about that.
I don't think so.
I can't really see. Maybe you can move the
move
mic
it.
back or something. Anyway, Fee's in the house. She's gonna pop in and out cooking dinner. Sounds good to me.
Let me take our question. 3 first appearances of Batwoman. Do you think it's worth sending on the CGC? Batwoman, as in from like week 52 Batwoman, or like Batwoman from the 60s? Because that's a big difference.
I would assume it's the modern version if he's
Probably.
asking, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I would send those in. Those are the kind of books you send in with 25 books and you pre-screen at 9.8 because you don't want a 9.6 in that book.
Right. That's like for any modern key. Anything that has glossy papers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, my man Adam DeLiso said he's been going for the past 7 years. Definitely the busiest Thursday, and it didn't seem as busy on the weekend to me. I don't know. It seemed like last year or in San Diego there was a lot of times where you couldn't even walk. Like you were literally stuck in a traffic jam.
I got the impression that the actual comic book area of New York the people that were there were for comic books. So it wasn't as tight as some of the other parts of the con.
Oh yeah,
Like,
other parts get crazy. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, so maybe, I mean, I didn't feel let's see, I never felt like that crazy, oh my God, there's so many people here, until I left the booth and like looked down the aisle and I was like, oh, I'm not going down there.
Yeah.
That shit is crazy.
Yeah, man, because we walk around and mingle, and you get caught up in these jams, and people got backpacks on, and it's like I'm
Yeah.
trying to film stuff. It's
Dude,
crazy.
people
man.
have luggage,
Yeah.
pulling their bags with books in them.
And yeah, Symbiote Massacre saying week 52. But
Yeah.
yeah, and then Artist Alley was crazy. See, luckily you don't really deal with that with the signatures and all that kind of get a witness. The Artist Alley was jam packed every time I was down there. It was crazy.
Yeah. Never once would I go down there and nobody had good things to say.
Well, I mean, there was a lot of good artists there, though. That was the thing. They had a lot of good talent there.
No, all that was great, but just dealing with CGC, dealing with the witness program there, like it was crazy.
That's why who Planet Awesome hooked us up, man. Me and Comic Tom went on a little adventure, and it was like a 3-hour wait for a witness or something. But Planet was like, "Yo, I got the witness right here. Go with him." 1, 2, 3. It was done, all on camera. Like however long that video took is how long it took. So
it helps to know people when you're dealing with that because,
or even to know that it's not just CGC that has witnesses there. There's other little people like I'm sure Scorpion has people too.
Yeah,
a lot of those type of guys, right?
Yep, yeah, and I don't know. Planet might still be a witness too. So
yeah, well, he is, and he had his guy. That's who we use, his guy.
Oh,
because he was there with the Kevin Eastman stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he had the Eastman there, but then he had another booth of like a bunch of people.
He had Boss Logic there again, the guy who does the graphic design. I interviewed him in San Diego. What was funny is during my statue video, because I was in there early, somebody hooked me up with an exhibitioner pass, and I was there early doing the statue video, and I turned, and it's this guy, Boss Logic. This guy got like 1 million followers on Instagram, and I was like, oh, what up, boss? And I kept it moving. But I thought I edited that out, but it was in the video, and someone's like, I love how Gem just casually says hello to Boss Logic and just keeps going,
I didn't realize he was as big as he is on Instagram. Like I've been following him and I'm like, all right. And then like Liefeld and all these guys start like, giving him shout outs. And I looked and he had like crazy followers on Instagram.
Yeah, he had like 1.4 million in San Diego. I think he probably has more now. But yeah, like actors know him and like reposted stuff. Method Man reposted his Bishop thing he did of him.
Yeah, it's wild. I had no idea.
SDA, I agree though. Artist Alley, man, that felt like authentic. That didn't feel like commercial con. Like it didn't feel like what everybody accuses Comic-Con to be like. You know what I'm saying? They accuse it to be like, I don't know. People always like to talk bad about the Funko Pop thing or like those other non-comic booths. You know what I'm saying? But that Artist Alley was like legit. I like how they gave it. It's in the basement. They gave it its own huge floor.
Yeah, that used to be where the celebrities were.
Oh, okay.
And
I got you.
The lines. So, like, how you went down the escalator and looked straight?
Yeah.
So at the very, very end, like where Planet was, that's where all the tables were set up, and the lines came towards the escalator. But it was never busy down there. So by putting Artist Alley down there, that was a big difference.
Shout out to my boy Stone Sour. McHaven Comics. Question for Gary and Gem. What was your favorite and least favorite booth or exhibit at NYCC? Well, Gary didn't see any other booths except his own.
Yeah, I saw mine and the guy across from me.
Gary's was one of my favorite because it felt like I had a little HQ within the con. You know how like you always see people sitting on the floor everywhere, and I'm like, yo, bump all that. I'm gonna hit Gary's spot up, just post up on the pole or whatever. But the thing is, I'm a big statue guy, and I'm really there for the statues. So it was a little bit disappointing with the new reveals for the statues. I think a lot of collectors agreed on that. The only thing we really got from Sideshow was like Cyclops.
That Darkseid from XM.
So XM Studios was probably a highlight because it's their second time being to New York Comic Con, second time setting up in America, right? They had the Darkseid Diorama, which us as collectors have known about it for years. So this is the first time we've ever seen it in person. It was still unpainted, but they had that. What else did they have? They had that Iron Maiden thing was a big hit, even though I'm not a big Iron Maiden guy.
Yeah, I read the comments on that video.
not as bad as I thought they were going to be. Because me and Gary were, I was like, who's Iron Maiden? Because I didn't put it together. And then I even said in the video, what is that, a band? Because I knew it was a band or something. But
Yeah,
Iron
like a
Maiden
heavy
is,
metal band. But I didn't know that was like their logo or
but it's
their
not. It's like their logo on top of a dragon or something different. I don't know, man.
XM. I liked the Shazam from XM.
Shazam was nice. They actually revealed that on my live show when they first showed like the renders.
There was I actually liked the Hal Jordan too, but like you and I were discussing, and you even said in your video,
Yeah,
they just can't master yet the Green
nobody
Lantern.
can. They needed to have a light up in there, man.
Yeah, I think so. It'd be cool to get the light up from the hand and just come out through the ring. But
what up, Johnny Dakota? Drawing whatever. These bookshelves are all from IKEA. They're called Calyx. So, AKA Card Carnage is asking, is theft a big problem at the con? Did you hear anything go down this year?
I didn't, and I actually heard somebody say to me there hasn't been a big theft yet this year, and that was by like day 3 or 4.
Yeah, somebody commented who obviously doesn't know about comics about like, hey, what if somebody just went in there and stole everything? But I'm like, I mean, there's a lot of security. You know, there's metal detectors to get in, and it does happen. You know, you usually hear like once a con that somebody stole some books or whatever. Somebody hit me up and I posted on Instagram that they not that somebody stole it, but a commission they had done, they lost it or it came up missing or something. And nobody hit me up that they said they found it. Davey Jones asking, hey, Gary, is there anything that you were going to sell but didn't? I think that's going to be a little bit of a surprise that we'll save for in a few minutes here.
Yeah,
right,
that Werewolf by Night 32 going in the first hour was cool.
What grade was it? Someone was asking about that book.
It was raw. It was like a 5.
Okay.
But that went in the first hour. Dude didn't even try to negotiate, which was great because I felt like my prices were pretty fair. And I think a few people said that my prices were good, and I try to be. But
no, and I told people like, yeah, you're definitely gonna have good prices, good grading, and everything. Ben Hizzle, he's asking Fee, what did she enjoy most at New York Comic Con? She said just walking around, people watching. Yeah, linking up with people. Gary, we went out to eat twice, I think, for dinner.
Yep, we had 2 very authentic New York City dinners.
The first one was TGI Fridays. Which people always scoff at, but you know what's funny, and you know the story. Like Fee, that's her favorite restaurant, right? And we lived out here in El Paso for 2 years, and they don't have one. So when she saw one right across from our hotel, I knew she wanted to eat there, so I threw her a bone. I didn't want to eat there, but I was like, you know what, we'll do it for Fee. But the second night was good. We went to that place, Clyde. That was
that was really good. Yeah.
Any fist fights in the Big Apple? Yeah, there was actually a fist fight outside of Clyde when we were eating. Remember that? And nobody even cared. Outside, inside, no big deal.
They were young. They were like 12, 14 years old, right?
Were they? Danny Lee, what's up? What up, Matthew Dennis? Any mishaps, racks falling down? Not that I saw this year.
Not mine. My racks are sturdy.
What up, White Wolf? What do you think about the casting of Catwoman? I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's really a step in the right direction. I don't know. It kind of seems like
that whole everything seems like it's a step in the wrong direction.
Yeah, like you just look what you did with Joker, and look at Birds of Prey. That shit looks whack as hell too, man.
You can't get more opposite than those 2 movies.
So Jonathan Ebling asking, are sales of big ticket books pretty common, or is it just a gallery type of thing?
I didn't hear the biggest book that I saw that was bought was actually Alex.
The one that I had on camera, right?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, Metropolis, I think those auction houses, Metropolis, Comic Link or Comic Connect? Comic Link, I think.
I think Link was there, but I don't know if they're selling. I know Metropolis was.
Yeah, but see, a lot of those guys, it is almost more of a gallery thing because all that stuff is up for auction, and you bid on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they had estimated finished price and all that, right?
The auction estimates, they always do that. So for those type of people, it's a gallery thing. But for dealers like Gary, and there's a handful of dealers that are they're there to sell, baby. They're not doing no online auctions later. Everything Gary has. What's the most expensive book that you brought with you?
I had the Avengers 4 and a 7.0.
And you sold it?
Yep.
Awesome. All right, let's see what else we got here. Oh, this is just on a side note. My man Scott's looking forward to pre-ordering that new Green Goblin from XM. Keep up the great content. I can't talk today, man. I'm tired as hell. It's been a long day.
Yeah, I just got home a half an hour from work and then looking at that collection.
Hey, what do you think about this? Yeah. Oh, Gary left.
Sorry, I'm back.
No, it's cool. So Kevin Feige is now going to be the chief creative officer over at Marvel TV and comics, and then Jeff Loeb is going to report to Feige. Did you hear about any of this?
Mm-mm.
I think it's always good when you get a good writer up in there backing up what's going to happen on the TV and movies. That's always a good look.
Yeah, it didn't work for Jeff Johns though.
Yeah, I mean the DC thing it's not working out, but the Joker thing worked. Did you see Joker yet?
Hell yeah.
That shit was on point. The Amazing Symbiote. Anyone disappointed that Todd McFarlane wasn't doing CGC's signature series? If I was a Todd McFarlane fan and a CGC collector, I would be. I think that's kind of bullshit, man. But I don't know what kind of beef he's got with CGC.
No, this is the way that works. So it's common knowledge that he doesn't do CGC at these shows. He does like 2 private signings a year with CGC, but you have to go through like a planet or something like that.
Somebody's got to book him, I guess. I guess he wants guaranteed money, or who knows what, right?
I don't know.
Prince of the City's got a good question because you sometimes go hunting and you pick up stuff. Did you buy anything at the con?
I didn't buy a single comic book.
But you usually do, right?
Yeah.
You're usually out hunting Final Fantasy. Fantastic Four Annual 6s.
Yeah, so here's what's up with New York. So versus some of the other cons. And this is good for you guys watching. You need to hustle in the beginning of these shows. So 2 things. Number 1, there was an FF Annual 6 across the way that guy had. It was high grade, and I was willing to make a trade and everything for it. But there's my dog. But just how the weekend ended, it just didn't happen.
But how many of those do you own right now?
19. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah. Sideshow stole your room blueprint. No lie. Really, what did Sideshow steal? Because I know that Ramos had a very familiar cover. That's the one that we had. Comic Tom got signed. What up, Carlos Portillo?
Okay.
What is this guy?
Yeah. So all right. So I want to word this right because I want everybody watching to take notice and use this as just for every show other than San Diego and New York and probably the big boys like MegaCon, Emerald City. The amount of buying and selling that happens before the con, half an hour to an hour before the show, it's out of this world.
So that's true. That's all true.
So at New York Comic Con, you're not dealing with newbies. I was probably one of the newest guys there.
Yeah.
At some of these other shows, like a Terrificon, these mid-range shows that are really, really good. Not Baltimore, but like a Terrificon and East Coast Comic Con, they're really good. You're going to find people who are in there for the first time and their books are mispriced. And I mean mispriced by a lot, where you can go around and find really good deals. If you're looking to flip, you can make some money. Or if even you're looking for your personal collection, that you're gonna get books at a steal.
So you're saying that a lot of dealers have books underpriced?
Way underpriced. Some of these guys that haven't updated their pricing or aren't quite up to date and know really what they're doing.
You got to be up to date on the movie news, man. Because what happened in San Diego from the Werewolf by Night announcement was mid-con, so every single book from one day to the next was a different price.
Mm-hmm. Right, I paid for an FF Annual 6 Annihilus at East Coast Comic Con. I paid $10 for a 4-hour.
That's crazy.
Yep. And I was scrambling. I bought a first Green Goblin for $250 raw.
But how do you know Green Goblin is always a big book, though?
Yeah, this guy had a long box of Silver Age keys that he was selling for somebody else because he had toys. So his buddy back home said, "Hey, take this. I'll give you a commission on it." So he was just blowing it out because he's a toy seller. He doesn't know comic books.
Right.
So you can go in there and drop $1,000 and walk out of there with $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 worth of stuff. So stuff like that won't happen at New York. Those are all experienced sellers. Gotcha. So I never really went around shopping. Plus, I didn't want to leave my booth.
So and also it's always Green Goblin's always been a hot book, but if you're paying attention, is going up right now. People are really expecting Norman Osborn to be a big bad villain in the next couple phases, right?
Yeah. Oh, you have a
A
big
super
super
chat,
chat.
yeah. I didn't want to skip to the bottom. JW Statues with he's always got good for a 50 spot. Hey, thank you so much. He said have a great show. Just received his life size Yoda. We'll show you later. Yeah, send me that in the DMs, brother. Appreciate the super chat love. And we had a good question here too. So Eric is asking, when's your next con? I mean, the thing is, that's kind of spoils what our big thing though, right?
Well, I have a convention actually in 2 weeks, a little small local 1 day mall show. It's free to get into. The big seller is the fact that Joe Sinnott will be there.
Oh, okay, cool. Joe Sinnott's
So
still out there signing books too, man.
yeah, he lives like an hour north of me. So he's not really doing any shows, but he'll do like these silly little local shows.
Matthew Dennis with the Gem Mint is awesome. I agree.
And then my next show is I think I'm doing a show in March that I'm kind of helping out with, and that's going to be in the Poughkeepsie, New York area, probably Fishkill. But my next really, really big show is actually East Coast Comic Con in Jersey. That's not until May,
So
which gives.
shout out.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say it gives enough time to build up some inventory.
Yeah, because you got to build up after selling at New York. So yeah, Torpedo definitely were the talk of the town with the $1 million AF-15 9.4. So that was dope. They had it out there. I should have asked to take a picture with it. I didn't. I got it in my video though. AKA Carnage.
Taking it out.
What's that?
It was in the display, right?
Yeah, they be taking it out. AKA Carnage promoting that like button, y'all. Do us a favor, hit the like. All right, let's see here. So real quick, what omnibus do I think is going to be the next whale? You know what? I don't really keep up with what books go out of print because once I have them, I don't really follow it, and I don't intend to sell them. So I don't really know, man. But whatever popular book that's newer, that's in danger of being sold out, can turn into a whale. Oh, look at drawing. Whatever says he liked Fee's review on I Hate Fairyland. Oh, look at this. Jonathan has a good question. How much money do you normally bring to spend at a con? I mean, I don't know. When do you? I mean, you don't really budget yourself, right? I mean, when you go, you don't do it. I know I don't. I have the credit card with me if anything needs to go down. But
yeah, so I'll talk numbers on this. So in East Coast Comic Con, I had like $200-300 in my pocket to start the weekend because I don't know. I don't need if there's a vendor with something I want, I'll just have them put it aside until I get money in my pocket.
Yeah, it's different for you, and yeah.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, man, at East Coast Comic Con, we were just talking about that. I think I spent like $5,000 running around grabbing stuff up.
Yeah, I guess it depends. Like, what are your goals? Are you there to specifically find a good mid-range X-Men 1 like Alex was and had money for it? Like, I don't know. It depends on what your collecting goals are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Me, I don't ever have cash on me ever, which kind of sucks though because I get caught in these predicaments. Like I feel like in New York City, there was times I needed cash and I didn't. I don't know. There goes JW with the super chat. David Valdez, what's going on? Thanks for stopping by. What's Danny Boy talking about? Would you ever do a West Coast con? See, that's kind of tough because you got to travel with a shitload of inventory, right?
Yeah, I'd have to ship stuff, and then how are you supposed to make money?
More cost involved, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's ATV Racer. Very perceptive. Fee changed her YouTube name so it matches the channel. Yo, New York ain't cheap. You know what's crazy about New York? I kind of budgeted for it, but I didn't really budget for the travel and the food.
Things escalated quickly that weekend.
Up, man. What's wrong with Baltimore Comic Con? Matthew wants to know.
It's that's my favorite con. You're not going to find newbies at Baltimore Comic Con. I think it's a little trickier to find a really, really, really great deal at some of these bigger tiered shows like the Baltimore's, the MegaCon, Emerald City, New York, San Diego. It's just that's not happening because all the vendors are experienced and it's their livelihood.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just you're not going to catch a good lick over there.
Right. There's very few vendors at these bigger shows that do this for fun like me. Like most of them are paying their bills and eating with this money.
Yeah. See, this is just a side thing for you.
Yeah.
But it's doing good. You're doing a great job at it. You know, and I want to mention because you said you were one of the newest at New York Comic Con, but you've been doing it the right way. You've been starting small. You've been building up, doing shows, and you were even nervous to do New York. You were in our group chat, and we were like, "Yo, you can do it. You know your shit. You got the books. You have everything
I
pretty
was
good."
terrified. Yeah.
But man, you killed it, man. We'll talk about it a little bit.
Yeah.
Brandy, we still didn't open that box that you sent us with Alita in it because we're gonna do a video for it, and we're waiting on a couple other packages to come in. We're gonna do like a what's in the box video.
Steel City Comic Con. I think that's Philly. No, Pittsburgh out there. I don't know.
Also, I hear the East Coast is bigger in buying books anyway. You might go to West Coast and it might not even been worth it.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, you want to know the only reason I'd go out to the West Coast? I'd go out to the West Coast to meet up and see people that I normally wouldn't.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, that's why I go to the East Coast.
Right?
So A3N Torpedo, that is where Gabe works, and Gabe does a great job on their Instagram, man. I love how he does the little videos Tuesday night showing the new books that are coming out Wednesday, and they do a good job. They interact with the community. They tag us and shit. Like it's a good look over there. Amazing Symbio, what price point should you slab books? Any suggestions? So here's something that Dennis kind of put me onto. If slabbing the book is going to cost more than the book is worth, you're doing it wrong. And that even means a modern book that if it comes lower than a 9.8, it costs more money to get it slabbed, then you shouldn't do it. You got to pre-screen it like Gary said, or make sure you're pressing everything just to ensure that you're going to hit that 9.8, because a modern book might be $150, but in a 9.6, it's $40. And then to slab it, to ship it, to get it shipped back, and all that might cost you $30 if you do like one book,
Yeah, the shipping kills you, man. Like it's not even worth doing one book because shipping's so expensive. You almost want to do like 5.
So shipping, if you do shipping, it used to be UPS was a flat rate $10, right? So if you do one book, it's costing you $10 to ship one book. But if you do
it's
10
15
books,
now.
It's 15 now. So if you do 15 books, then that $15 gets spread across each book. Now you're paying $1 a book to get it shipped back.
It's 15 for the first book and then $2 each after.
Oh, so what was the sweet spot's always been like 30 books or something, I think.
They do 25 as their max now.
Damn, because people send in that garbage.
Yeah. It's
all right. Let's see what else we got going on. Do you think the new Joker movie was good? I thought it was great, and a lot of that might have to do with me going in with low expectations, but I just thought it was amazing. I thought it was an awesome movie.
The farther I'm getting away from that movie, the more I'm liking it and want to go see it again.
Yeah, especially after like wanting to see it. I'm not going to do spoilers because maybe some people haven't seen it, but just to look at scenes again after kind of digesting what happened the first time and looking for different things and looking at it with a different perspective. Did I talk to the drummer of System of a Down? No, just briefly. I just asked if he minded that I filmed him while I was doing my video. He was like,
I talked to him.
Yeah.
He came by. Busy. Yeah, he came by my booth and hung out for like 5 minutes talking about his convention out in LA.
That's dope.
But I'm not going out there.
No. Cesar Hernandez, yeah, that's Gary said he doesn't really have plans for that. Doesn't really want to ship everything to the West Coast for a con.
The only convention I would go to on the West Coast would probably be Emerald City. But not to sell.
Davy Jones, the name of the book Fee reviewed but didn't drop the review. Well, she loved Little Bird as her favorite book, but she didn't drop the review on Rogue and Gambit. Oh, Justin Loke. Oh, is that okay? Okay with Loke?
Yeah.
Loved your Joker review. You DC fanboy, you. Hey, I'm not a DC hater. I like to read DC. The movies are not as good as Marvel's, I think, for the most part. And I don't collect the DC statues, but I'm not a DC hater. Let's see. What happened here?
I liked that video of yours too, your Joker review. It was pretty good. Like you kind of hit on everything.
Yeah, which is difficult too, man, because we just freestyle it. We don't write it or anything, and you miss one thing, and everybody chews your head off. So no, I am happy with how it came out. I thought it was good. Burnus Brass asking, what about Omega Men 3? Is that people ask? No one's asking for that. It's always been an inexpensive key, man.
Yeah, I think they made a whole lot of them. I had a raw book for $40 on the wall, and I had a 9.8 on the wall.
How much are 9.8s now? They used to be like $1.50.
They're like two and a quarter, I think. But mine was CBCS, so that immediately, people aren't excited about that.
Ben Hizzle's asking a funny question that I think about a lot. He's asking if the promo posters that the brick and mortar LCSs get, do they have any value? I don't think so, but that's one of the major reasons why I would want my own LCS, so I can get all those promotional posters. I think those shits are dope as hell.
I think everything is worth something. You just have to find the right person.
Yeah, I guess, but I don't know. I don't know if there's a big. I don't think you'll even see them on eBay probably. We got a lot of people turning out for the chat. I think that's for you, Gary. 171 watching. We appreciate. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit tired today, but we're just chilling, shooting the shit, talking about New York Comic Con and Gary's experience as a dealer there.
I'm sorry, I'm a little bit echoey.
He's a little bit echoey.
Yeah,
he wants to make sure you can hear him. Someone's saying, "Oh, Steel City." You mentioned that. Okay.
Yeah.
Hit a lick. That's South Florida slang. You already know, brother. Would you go to a Comic Con overseas? I doubt it, right? If you're not going to go to the West Coast.
No, I mean, where am I going to go? I think the Dubai Comic Con is a big one. I'm sure England has one.
I know. I always hear from my international viewers that it ain't no comics out there like how it is out here. You know.
Yeah.
Craig Chaos. Good morning from Australia. We got our boy Discovery Bay. I think he promoted us doing this a little bit earlier
yes, he
too.
did.
That might be why we got so many viewers going on. Appreciate that. Joe Goose, to get any comics graded at these cons, do you need to be a member of CGC? Yeah, you have to have an account because they're going to end up shipping them back to you unless it's on-site grading, but I'm sure you still have to have an account.
Yep, you need to have an account no matter what, but it's free. You don't need one of the tiered accounts.
So, hey, Soup Die is asking Heroes Con. Are you familiar with that show?
No. Do you know?
I'm not familiar with that either. Bob Blanton is right. I was born in New Jersey, but I was raised in South Florida.
I think the best comic book show is still Baltimore. My opinion.
Better than Terrificon, huh?
For comic books, artists, and writers, yes. But Terrificon's venue is better.
Matt Haven Comics asking us, what are we looking forward to most in 2020? Do you have anything that you could think of?
I mean, is it Eternals next year?
It's who?
Eternals?
Yeah, I think it is. But yeah, that's a big movie that I'm looking forward to. I mean, I think that Phase 4 is going to have a surprise in for us. I think there's going to be big teasers in all those movies that are going to make Phase 4 more exciting than what it initially looked like.
I'm looking forward to Annihilus being teased in 2020.
With them 19 slabs, I'm sure you are. Iman in the chat. What's going on, Iman? What's up, Miguel Gomez? Love the channel. Appreciate that, sir. JW, love the Joker statue. Don't bring the kids. So someone told us not to bring our kids. And even though our kids are pretty mature, I'm glad I didn't bring them because I was kind of thrown off a little bit by the violent scenes, man. Comic adding, is it worth changing an old case to a new case?
Yeah, they say you're supposed to change cases every 5 years or so.
I think it changed now the years, but they've always recommended that. But that's like, of course they would recommend that. They want you to continue to do business with them, right?
Yeah, and you'll get a premium for an old label, just so you know.
Yeah, so you're better off selling it altogether. Label. What's poppin'? How do you say it?
Saintix or Saint Texas? Oh, we lost Gem? I wonder if he's frozen. And this is just now the Very Gary Comics channel. Biggest buyer's remorse, seller's remorse. Uh-oh. I definitely think Gem froze. Let's see. Maybe I'm just running this channel now. Yo, I sent 5 books in with no press, all signed, 3 remarks, 4 of them came back 9 minutes. I was super scared and it worked out. Looks like this is just me now, huh? Well, guys, now that this is my channel, let's see what's going on here. Let's see. Bring on the cat.
Oh, what happened? Oh, as long as the show kept going, I was worried that you got booted out.
No, it was my show for a little bit, but I didn't know if I was live. But I kept seeing all the chat going.
Yeah.
And this, so.
All right. So did we talk to Bad News about the 5 books he sent in?
No, I did not hear anything about that. I'm reading it now.
Yeah, he said he sent 5 books in. no press, all signed, and 3 with remarks. 4 of them came back in 9.8. Was super scared, but it worked out. Yeah, you got lucky, man. You rolled the dice with that no press, but hey.
Yeah, congrats on that.
Oh, Rex Ann asking, how much does it usually cost to reserve a booth at cons? Oh, and he dropped me an email a few days ago. So,
Okay.
You want to speak on that, Gary?
Yeah. So it really depends on the con. Like New York, I'll be straight up honest with you because you can find this out on your own. So I'm not blowing anything here. So New York Comic Con for a 10 by 10 in-line booth, which means you're not on a corner. So you literally have 10 feet in front of you. That's it. No sides. That's all behind you. That cost $1,825 for a 10 by 10 inline booth. I believe a corner is close to $2,300 for New York. But then you have shows like Terrificon, East Coast Comic Con. I buy a double end cap. So now I have 3 big, double end cap, and I think I'm around $1,400 or $1,500 to pay for that. So a double end cap at these 2 other shows, which are pretty big, costs less than a 10 by 10 in New York, in line.
Bob Land, what comics do you hate? I hate that comic that I reviewed last week. What was it called? Copra? That comic sucked. So Jonathan Ebling asking Gary, what inspired you to become a dealer?
My collection was very broad, and I figured if I streamlined it, I could just sell everything and just buy what I wanted and keep it clean. Like my personal collection, I'm just looking, it's probably like 40 books. It's not much.
So it all started with, moving your own stuff and you get good. That's kind of how I got into this thing too.
Yeah.
Like you're moving your own stuff and then boom, boom, boom. And then you start getting calls of collections. Didn't you go see a collection today?
Yeah, I saw a collection today, right after work. It was I had about 50 short boxes of comics, another like 30 of trades. Awesome dude, super nice. I have to go back because I bought some of it and I didn't get to look at others. He's got some omnibus I want to check out because he has the Annihilation. I told him like it was expensive, but now they're reprinting it.
Yeah, exactly. What is this guy? What is Bulldog asking? Gary's doing WinterCon at Resorts World the Dump. Does that sound something? I don't know.
WinterCon? I think that's in New York City. I am definitely not doing that.
Edwin Diaz. Yeah, I'm gonna get that Cyclops for sure. Oh yeah, drawing. Sorry. Arcade 1-Up videos coming soon. I don't think so, bro, because I kind of have everything that I want right now. I do kind of have my eye on the Golden Tee just because Golden Tee is like a bar game where you walk by and you spin the thing a couple times and that's it. You know what I mean? Like it's just fun like that. Same with Pac-Man. So I'm kind of eyeballing those, but I don't know. And they haven't announced what the next wave is yet, so I'm kind of waiting to see what they plan to come out with. I know they teased the King of Fighters cap in a Burger Time. I know Bob Blanton probably wants that Burger Time. But I don't know what Burger Time is, man. That game must have been before my time.
No, Burger Time was an arcade game, and then it was actually on Nintendo.
I don't remember that shit.
You have to. It's kind of like set up a little bit like Donkey Kong with the ladders and everything, and you have to grab pieces of burgers, I think.
And then I heard that the King of Fighters game that hasn't been approved yet, but I don't know. That always felt like a rip-off Street Fighter to me. I can never really get into King of Fighters. Kratos99 asking, are you planning to add any modern books to your collection to sell in the future? You're ever going to get into that?
I did have...
You did have some, now that I think about it.
I had Venom 3s. What was that? First Null.
Okay.
And I had...
First Null. First Null is in Thor, I think.
No, that's... Oh, that's that cameo kind of tease him one, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have that.
And then I had like Marvel Comics Presents 6. Is that the Reign or whatever?
So you dabble in it, and you had a lot of those that you picked up in collections. You had modern slabs and shit.
Yeah, those are collection books. I don't really slab anything modern.
Mr. X, man, everyone kept telling him to smash that like. He didn't mess around and broke his computer.
I want to go back and watch your 5-hour stream with this dude.
Yo, I did an old school gem stream on the Extreme channel. My man right here, 5.5 hours. I got shitty drunk. I said so. I was loose lipped.
That's what I want to see. What was it about? I'm curious.
Nah, it wasn't that bad. Some shit about Sideshow. Some shit about my friends that I didn't hang out with in New York a lot, and I was feeling some type of way. But we talked about it. Yeah, even Gary was like, "Hey, Jem, I thought there would be a lot more people with you." I was like, "Yo, everyone fucking sold me out this con, man." Nah, but it was.
I had a good time.
Nah, me too, man. We had a good time. All right, what's going on here? Waiting on Gary's cat to cameo.
Yeah, you're not going to get any cameos tonight.
Let's see. I'm just looking through the questions.
I love this part of coming on the show because the questions are the best part, and
Oh, yeah,
like
I don't have
talking.
plans. None of these shows are planned out, bro. This was you guys keep it going.
You
Okay, here's a
know,
good question from Iron Galactus. Should you expect to pay above market value at large cons as a dealer? Do you hate people quoting eBay prices? I love that question.
okay, so this is a great question. First of all, my prices are based on eBay sales,
Hmm.
while other vendors are trying to break GPA.
They're trying to, right? Is it because they don't need the money? Is it because they're trying to offset costs of the con?
I don't know. So what I tell people is I'm not here to run a museum. I'm here to sell comic books because some of these people are just showing books off that they're not even trying to sell because they're not
And
pricing them right.
is the thought process from some of these older dealers like, oh, I want to price it up so we have room to negotiate? But
It
like you
could
said,
be.
you price it right, and ain't no need to negotiate. You just put
Right.
room.
And I've told people that sometimes I'll negotiate, if you have cash, I'll do a little better. But
I've
like my
seen you do it.
prices are pretty tight. Like there's not a whole lot of wiggle room.
Yeah.
But like what I'm starting to learn, and this is after doing a few of these now, if you're a dealer in the room and you're the only dealer with a certain book, you almost get to name your price because if someone's in that building looking for a book and you're the only one, and it's nice as a buyer instead of going to eBay and going through the hassle and all the question marks to physically hold the book and go home with it. You almost want to pay a bit of a premium for that.
For now, that's how I am. I want it now. I don't want to buy it. Wait for him
Perfect.
to
Yeah.
ship. DJ Sick Rick got a good question. What are your biggest buyer's remorse and seller's remorse, recent or past?
Um, I have a slight seller's remorse for New York, but we can get into that.
So I had every big Marvel book that I really ever wanted, except I never had a Hulk one. But like I had Fantastic Four one, X Men one. I had Hulk 181s, multiple ones. I had AF-15. If I would have sold them all now, I would have tripled my money, if maybe not more, than when I sold it in like what I sell it, maybe 2016 or something like that, before I moved out here.
Sometimes I think of that, but then I say, if I hadn't sold the book, then I wouldn't have X, Y, and Z now.
Right. Yeah. And that's the same thing. I wouldn't have had all the omnibus. I wouldn't have started getting statues in. So the channel might not have ever become. So it's always the butterfly effect.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this was funny when I froze up and you had the very Gary takeover. Gary's time to shine. I'm way behind on the comments, man. Oh yeah, my laptop. So I also spilled vodka on my laptop during that live stream with Mr. X. And the funny thing is, what I was most mad about was not having my drink anymore.
Yeah, but you haven't drank like that in a while, right?
Yeah, and I'm done, man, because I'm on this damn high blood pressure medicine. I felt like shit yesterday. I'm like, I'm not gonna be drinking anymore. All right, let's see. What are we looking at? Okay, so Ben Hizzle got the promo poster from 1991 Infinity Gauntlet. He doesn't want to sell it, but wonders if it's sought after. I mean, I've seen that on eBay. I think it was only like $25 too, man. Gem, when are you gonna start selling at cons? So my whole thing is this: like, I'm still on that selling for free on Instagram vibe. I'm not that Gary level where I have all this inventory that I need to move like that. I'd rather just sell on Instagram and on Facebook and shit. Golden Tee rocks. Yeah, I always feel like when I say I want that Golden Tee arcade one up, that people are like, why would you want Golden Tee? Something wrong. I am not playing on consoles anymore. I'll probably buy that PS5 and use it to watch movies. Comic Addict. I only own 4 slabs, and none of them are for value. I just have 2 IG Comic Store variants, Joe Jusko variants. I got the first appearance of Annihilus I bought as a spec, and the first appearance of Doppelganger to go with the statue.
I'm like around 25 slabs in my personal collection, maybe 30. Like that's it.
All right, Gary. So we're at about 50 minutes. We're gonna cut this off in an hour because it's gonna be dinner time and everything. So let's talk about how it went at the con. So you go there. You're selling books. Thursday and Friday are mad busy. How much of the inventory do you think are you getting off in those first couple of days?
So I was a little nervous. So day one was great, Thursday.
Okay.
And then Friday, I did like a little more than half what I did Thursday.
Wow. So that's already a bad sign, right?
Yeah, and I was stressing out already about the show. I'm like, geez, all right, whatever. Saturday was still not as good as Thursday, but better than Friday. And then you know what saved me, like emotionally, was
Yeah.
actually like going out Saturday night and just, my wife came down and then we all went out to dinner and just kind of relaxed. And I was like, all right, you know what, whatever happens tomorrow happens tomorrow. I had a good time,
Right.
it was fun.
So wait, hold on. When is that we did that? That was when we went to Clyde?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. I got drunk as hell at Clyde.
Yes, you did.
What was I drinking? I don't even remember. I think I was drinking.
I thought you just had beer.
No, I don't think. Was I drinking beer or Jack and Coke or something?
I don't know. Well, I got there late because you guys were already there and I was closing up shop.
All right. So anyway, so how was the last day of the con?
So the last day was, I believe, the best day.
Yeah.
So, well, here, I'll just tell the whole story now.
They always say that the best times to buy at a con are at the last day when everyone's trying to get rid of their shit. True or false? Typically.
It depends because by the last day, people already sold a ton of stuff. So if you're looking for something specific, look, if you're looking for deals and you don't care, sure, that last day is great. But if you're looking for a certain book, you know how many people came up to me on that last day looking for Eternal books and looking for Shang-Chi and Werewolf by Night, and these were already gone. They were gone. I didn't have anything left.
So that's a risk you're willing to take. If to be looking for deals, you could not have any books left.
Right, and you run that risk. So, is it the best day to look for deals? Yes. Oh, there you go.
And then look at my man White Wolf, Jim Blacked out, confirmed.
So basically, for 4 days, I sold books, and I was walking out of that show on day 4. I was like, all right, cool. Had a great time, made some money, and it was awesome. But then with an hour left on the Sunday, the last day, I walked around and I talked to a vendor and talked to him about buying what I had. And this guy made me an offer on my entire inventory.
Damn, that's crazy. And you took the offer.
Took the offer, sold everything.
So how many books would you say you went to New York with?
11 longs, 2 shorts of keys, and 4 shorts of slabs.
And you went home with
my racks and my tables.
That's crazy, man. I mean, I've said it to you a bunch of times already, but congratulations. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything better than that. To go home, you don't have to pack shit up, nothing but some cash.
That's it. I just had some money and 2 trips to the car. That's all it took.
And the offer that you took was definitely an acceptable. It's not like you took an L because you didn't want to travel with it. Like it was a good deal.
No, see what I kept telling myself, this guy gave me this much money to free up space in my house and to free up my time. And it's not like I'm retiring, like I just looked at the collection tonight. I have 4 more lined up. Like this, it was just.
That's what I love. So now you start over. Now you're building the collection back up. You're already looking at other collections. By the time the next con rolls around, you'll probably have more than enough to set up.
Yeah, I hope so. I think so. I mean, again, with these 5 lined up, it's and they're a little bit of everything. I had some moderns tonight. One guy has some bronze stuff. There might be a silver in another collection. She thinks there's 12-cent covers, which I'm sure they're just 1990s Silver Surfer books. But still, I mean, it's fun. It was. I've been doing this with my Drek, right? I've been doing this with a lot of my crap books too, just cleaning out the house.
Yeah.
And I did it with all the keys now and all the slabs, so I'm starting from zero. I do have my personal collection. I do have all my spec books, and I do have. There was something else I had. Oh, all my $2 stuff. I still have 150 boxes of $2 books.
But you didn't bring us to New York Comic Con?
No.
That's awesome, man. I think that that was a nice ending to that story. Couldn't have asked for a better con to sell out all your inventory. I think was it about half that you came with that you ended up? How did that work out?
What do you mean?
No, so how much? I guess half of the inventory that you brought. I don't know how much you sold prior and how much you sold to the dealer. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, basically. So what was left? The dealer will probably make like 10 to 15,000 off of my entire inventory, but I don't know how long that's going to take, and that's why I took the deal, because for me to get to that point could be months.
Right.
So I'll take a little bit less money and be done with it and start fresh.
And when the collection that you had, or the inventory that you built up, took about a year. You started at the beginning of the year, right?
Yeah.
And then
I mean, not really. I started 2 years ago, but like, again, we're talking, this was my 5th major show in 2 years and was able to sell what I had left.
That's dope, man.
And the cool thing about it is everything at my booth was found in the wild. Right. Everything.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So, man, that's dope. Let's go through a couple of the questions before we get up out of here. So DJ Sick Rick asking, what are our thoughts on Marvel calling Hulk 180 the first appearance? You know, they've always called it that. If you look at old trading cards, and it is his first appearance in a comic book, but it's not his first full appearance. It's not his first story.
A lot of people were asking for that book too.
Hulk, because it's the poor man's Hulk 181. Now, the other thing is there's ads of that same panel in like Daredevil books. So is that really his first appearance? I mean, at the end of the day, I think
does Thor have an ad too?
Some shit like that.
Definitely Daredevil.
I'm pretty sure it's Daredevil. But anyway, it's at the end of the day, what's his first cover appearance? What's his first full appearance? And the market dictates, as it always does, you know?
Yeah.
All right. Who said something about Near Mint? Infinity said Near Mint and Gem Mint on 2 separate live streams. Stereo sucks. Shout out to Near Mint over there at Near Mint Condition. He's probably talking about some new shit that's coming out too, man. I need to go check that out. What else we got going on here?
I see. What's your next book after? Oh, I'm way ahead of you on the stream here, on the chat. So what's your next book you're after for your PC? I'll be honest with you. I have no idea. I have a Batman 16 coming back next week.
First Alfred, right?
First Alfred that I'm stoked about. I don't even know.
Oh, crazy story.
You want to know? Oh yeah, that's another good story, but I don't want to get into that one. You know what I'm looking for? First Mr. Freeze, first Man Bat, and first Riddler. Silver Age Riddler. Those are like the only rogues I'm missing. And those aren't even really, well, the Freeze is a difficult book, but the other two aren't.
Comic Addict, what do you think will blow up like Hulk 181? I don't think anything will ever blow up like Hulk 181, especially for what year that book is and how much it sells for.
I can't see anything doing that. I mean, we're talking about a Bronze Age book that is eclipsing Silver Age Grail prices.
Yeah. A 9.8 is 35 grand. I remember when it was 20. I remember when it was 10 when we first got into this. That shit is crazy, man. But you know what books are good books like that? Like that are modern books that are expensive and they shouldn't be, like Amazing Spider-Man 300, New Mutants 98.
Oh, New Mutants 98.
You know, books that there's so many of them out there. And if you look at any other book from that month and that year, they're not worth shit. So, I mean.
And they printed a ton of them.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. There's a lot of them. New Mutants 98, is that the most, is that the highest grade or the most copies of a book graded? Is it New Mutants 98?
No, it was either Wolverine 1 from the Frank Miller series or Amazing Spider-Man 300 or Hulk 181. It was like one of those three or something.
Well, 181 already hit 10,000. Oh, you know what? It might be, I don't know what it is, but I think ASM 300 was coming close to 10,000, and they were like promoting it because the Hulk 181, the 10,000 copy got like a label, special label that said 10,000 copy graded, and CGC was advertising that ASM 300 was getting to that point. You may want to get them in to get graded.
I remember GPA had a promotion where Hulk 181 was their most traded book, and you can play around with Hulk 181 and GPA for free without having to have a membership. Davy Jones, we're actually talking to somebody now about getting Stretch That Spine Y'all shirts made. All right, what else we got going on? Let's see. ASM 361, but that's always like the poor man's Venom, you know what I mean?
You know what I think about these? I think you and I talked about this. So these modern, what are you doing, dude? Get out of here. So these modern books like a New Mutants 98, a Batman Adventures 12, ASM 300, ASM 361, I've come to the conclusion that these modern keys do this.
Yeah,
big time.
With movies, they do it with the movies.
Right.
And check this out. They're saying it's ASM 300. It's going to hit 20,000.
20,000.
It's going to get a special label.
So it might be ASM 300.
Yo, we need to do the cooking segment fee with Mr. Mulligan. Like we got even maybe for the members, we'll do it for the members segment. Giant Size X-Men is the next Hulk 181. Yeah, that's always been the poor man's Hulk 181 too. But now it's
that's
not.
Getting crazy.
Now it's too expensive. That 9.8 just sold for 11.5 on the GSX one. All right, y'all. Fee said dinner's ready. We're gonna wrap it up at an hour. We got 200 watching. We're gonna leave on a high note here and leave y'all hanging. Definitely thanks for watching. If you're watching on the replay or you guys hit the like button before you bounce, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I plan on doing a lot more lives with a lot of other guests, a lot of collaborations. I just did one with Seth What's Poppin' last night. We got this new guy who did an interview. 4 Comics put me on. He's at cons doing interviews, and he knows his stuff, man. So I'm probably going to have him come on.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I forget his name. But
so the guy today, the collection that I bought, well, part of it, he might even be watching because I said, I got to get home. I got to be home by 8 o'clock to get on with Gem. I got to get on YouTube. And he goes, Gem Mint? I said, yeah. He goes, I watch him. I'm like, shit. Yeah, well, I got to go on a show in an hour. We got to hurry.
Be like, oh, so you're a Geminite?
Yeah, he watches you and Comic Tom. That's it.
Comic Tom. Yeah, I've been talking to Comic Tom a lot. I really like Comic Tom's hustle and his drive. It reminds me of me. We both treat this the same way, and we don't play around. We really go hard. So he's got a lot of stuff in the works. I'm going to be working with him. And yeah, man. So we'll wrap it up. Thanks for watching, and catch y'all next time. Peace.
Dude,
I think it's
still going.